So in this video, we are still talking about circumference, but this time we're going to talk about circumference with half circles and quarter circles, okay? And those call for a different formula, just like area calls for a different formula with half and quarter circles. So your goal is I can find the circumference of a half circle and a quarter circle. All right, so go ahead and take out your formula sheet and hit pause so that you can write down this information, but I'm going to jump right into the formula and the example. So the formula for the circumference of a half circle is a little different than you might expect. So with area, we simply took the formula, which would be this, but for circumference, and we divided it by 2 for a half circle. Now that's true. We're going to do C equals 2 pi r divided by 2. But this here is very important. We will then do plus 2r. Now let me explain to you why. So if you have a full circle and all you want is the area, you would calculate the area. If I had a half circle, I would just calculate the area because again, that's the inside of a half circle. And if I had a quarter circle, I would just calculate the area divided by 4, divided by 2 for the half circle, because that's what's inside. But circumference is different. With circumference, we are talking about the outside. So if I have a circle and I'm calculating the circumference of a whole circle, that is everything on the outside. Now, if I calculate the circumference of a half circle, what I am doing is just calculating this outside. Remember, circumference is perimeter. I need to account for this right here. Now, this is the diameter, which is also 2 versions of the radius. You have one radius here, one radius here. That's how you get the 2r, okay? And I'll explain that again once we get to the quarter circle. So let's look at this example right here. So our pi is still 3.14. Now our radius is half of 7.2. So you're going to do 7.2 divided in half, which is going to give you 3.6 meters. Now let's calculate the circumference. So C equals 2 pi r divided by 2 because it's a half circle plus 2r. And again, that's so that I can account for this right here and for that right there. So let's go ahead and plug our information in. So C equals 2 times 3.14 times 3.6, all of that divided by 2, plus 2 times 3.6, okay? Then it's just a matter of solving it. So C equals, when we do the top, it's going to be 2 times 3.14 times 3.6, which is our radius. So that's going to be 22.608 divided by 2, plus 2 times 36 is 7.2. Now I need to go ahead and divide that. So I have C equals 11.304 plus 7.2. And when I add those two together, I'm going to get that the circumference is 18.504. And that's going to be 18.504 meters. All right, let's look at the quarter circle. Same situation here, okay? So we have the normal circumference formula, C equals 2 pi r. We are dividing by 4 because it's a quarter, and then we have this plus 2r. And the reason why is because when we calculate the perimeter, we're just looking at the outside of the circle. But now that we've sliced it, we have these two parts of the inside of the circle, okay? We have the radius, which would lie here down to the center, and we have the radius, which would lie from this edge down to the center. So that's where I get 2 times r from right there. All right, so let's look at our example. So here, our pi is always 3.14, and our radius is 12 feet. So let's go ahead and calculate with our formula. C equals 2 pi r divided by 4 plus 2r. So C equals 2 times 3.14 times 12, which is our radius, all of that divided by 4, plus 2 times 4. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and calculate the top portion of that fraction bar there. So 2 times 3.14 times 12, and that's going to give us 75.36 over 4 plus 2 times 4 is 8. So C equals, we're going to take that and divide it by 4, which is going to give us 18.84 plus 8. So our final circumference is 26.84, and that's going to be feet squared. So this longest formula we're going to be dealing with circles are these two right here. All right, so let's take a look at this example. So pi 3.14, our radius is half of the diameter, so that's going to be 5 feet. And now we need to calculate our circumference. So C equals 2 pi r, it's a half circle, so divided by 2, plus 2r, because we need to add back in this part right here. Because when we calculate normal perimeter, we're just doing the outside. All right, so C equals 2 times 3.14. Our radius is 5. All of that divided by 2 plus 2 times 5. C equals, let's go ahead and do the top. 2 times 3.14 times 5. That's going to give us 31.4 divided by 2 plus 10. C equals, so I'm going to take that 31.4 and divide it by 2. And that gives me 15.7 plus 10. So my final circumference is 25.7. And that's going to be feet squared. Oh, sorry, not feet squared, just feet, because it's circumference, which is perimeter. All right, here's another one. So our pi is 3.14. Our radius is clearly marked here. It's 7 centimeters. And then we need to calculate our circumference. So C equals 2 pi r. It's a half circle, so we divide by 2 plus 2r. And again, the normal circumference formula just deals with the outside. We need to add in this radius and this radius because it's now part of the perimeter. So C equals 2 times 3.14 times 7, all of that divided by 2, plus 2 times 7. C equals, so we're going to do 2 times 3.14 times 7. That's going to give us 43.96 divided by 2 plus 14. So we're going to go ahead and divide that by 2. C equals 21.98 plus 14. And so when we add those two together, we get C equals 35.98. And that's just going to be centimeters because it's perimeter, so not centimeters squared. All right, now here we have a quarter circle, and it's on a coordinate plane. Our pi is still 3.14, and our radius, which is from the center to the edge, is going to be 2 units. If I can spell. Okay, so let's go ahead and calculate our circumference. So C equals 2 pi r. It's a quarter circle, so we're going to divide by 4 plus 2r. We're always going to add by 2r because we're accounting for this radius and for this radius that we need to add in. So C equals 2 times 3.14 times 4 and all of that divided by 4 plus 2 times 4. So we're going to go ahead and multiply the top. So that's going to be 2 times 3.14 times 4, which is going to give us 25.12 divided by 4 plus 8. When we divide that by 4, we get 6.28 plus 8, which is going to give us a circumference of 14.28. So 14.28 units. All right, let's look at another example. So pi is 3.14. Our radius is 4 centimeters. And now I need to calculate the circumference. So C equals 2 pi r. It's a quarter circle, so I'm going to divide by 4 plus 2r because I'm adding in this radius and I'm also adding in this radius right here. So C equals 2 times 3.14 times 4, all of that divided by 4 plus 2 times 4. So C equals 2, oops, I need to multiply that all together. I don't want to rewrite it. So 2 times 3.14 times 4 is 25.12 divided by 4 plus 8. C equals 25, oops, I'm losing my mind here. Divide that by 4, and that's going to give us 6.28 plus 8. C equals 14.28 centimeters. Now, I think if I go back to this one here, I did make a mistake. Okay, so go back to the last one, and look what I did. I put in that the radius was 4, and it is not 4. It is 2. So we need to recalculate this one. All right, so 2 times 3.14 times 2 is 12.56. And then 12.56 divided by 4 is 3.14. Now I also need to fix this. This is plus 4, and that's plus 4. So 3.14 plus 4 is going to give us a circumference of 7.14. So the answer is actually 7.14 units. I realized that when the next answer was exactly like that one, but I knew it had a different radius. So make sure you make that change. All right, what happens when we need to work backwards? So similar situation to all the other ones that we've done before. So we have pi, which is 3.14. We don't know our radius, but we do know that the circumference is 30.84 yards. So start with the formula. C equals 2 pi r divided by 2 because it's a half circle, plus 2r. I have the circumference, which is 30.84, equals 2 times 3.14 r divided by 2 plus 2r. So we're going to go ahead and simplify this top portion here. So 30.84 equals 6.28 r divided by 2 plus 2r. Now, I'm going to divide these two right here. So 30.84 equals 6.28 divided by 2 is 3.14r plus 2r. Now I'm going to combine these like terms. 30.84 equals 5.14 r. I want my r by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by 5.14. Get my calculator. So 30.84 divided by 5.14 will give us a radius of 6. So if my radius is 6 yards, I'm also asking you here for the area. So area equals pi r squared divided by 2 because it's a half circle. Area equals 3.14, the radius is 6, squared divided by 2. Area equals 3.14, 6 squared is 36, divided by 2. Area equals, so 3.14 times 36 is 113.04 divided by 2. And so that's going to be an area of 56.52 yards squared. All right, let's do another one here. So our pi is 3.14. We don't know our radius, and our circumference is 61.68 miles. Okay, so let's work backwards to find our radius and then go forwards to find our area. So C equals 2 pi r. It's a half circle, so we're going to divide by 2, and we need to add in the diameter again, so 2 times r. So we have our radius is 61.68 equals 2 times 3.14 r, all of that divided by 2, plus 2r. We're going to simplify the top here. So 61.68 equals 6.28r divided by 2 plus 2r. 61.68 equals, we're going to divide these two, 3.14r plus 2r. 61.68 equals, I can combine these two like terms, 5.14r. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 5.14. So I have 61.68 divided by 5.14, and that gives me a radius of 12. So my radius is 12 miles. Now I'm going to work forwards to calculate my area. So area equals pi r squared divided by 2 because it's a half circle. Area equals 3.14 times 12 squared divided by 2. So area equals 3.14, 12 squared is 144 divided by 2. So 3.14 times 144 is an area of 452.16 divided by 2 because it's a half circle. So that gives us an area of 226.08. And that's going to be miles squared. All right, now let's look at a quarter circle working backwards. So pi is 3.14. We don't know the radius, but we know that the circumference is 39.27 inches. So we're going to work backwards to find the radius. So C equals 2 pi r divided by 4, because it's a quarter circle, plus 2r. So our circumference is 39.27 equals 2 times 3.14 times r divided by 4 plus 2r. So 39.27, I'm going to simplify the top, equals 6.28r divided by 4 plus 2r. 39.27 equals, so 6.28 divided by 4 is 1.57r plus 2r. I'm going to combine these like terms. 39.27 equals 3.57r. I need the r by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by 3.57. So r equals 39.27 divided by 3.57, and that's going to give me 11. So my radius is 11 inches. Now I'm going to calculate my area based on that. So area equals pi r squared divided by 4 because it's a quarter circle. So area equals 3.14 times 11 squared divided by 4. Area equals 3.14. 11 squared is 121 divided by 4. Area equals, so 3.14 times 121 is 379.94 divided by 4 because it's a quarter circle. And that's going to give us a final area of 94.985. And that's going to be inches squared because it's area. All right, here we have another one. This is a quarter circle, and we're also working backwards on this one here. So our pi is 3.14. We don't have a radius, but we have a circumference of 17.85 centimeters. So let's work backwards to find the radius. So c equals 2 pi r divided by 4 because it's a quarter circle, plus 2r. Remember, I'm adding in those two extra sides that I have now. So I know my circumference is 17.85 equals 2 times 3.14 times r divided by 4 plus 2r. So 17.85 equals 2 times 3.14 is 6.28r over 4 plus 2r. 17.85 equals 6.28 divided by 4 is 1.57r plus 2r. I'm going to combine these like terms here. 17.85 equals 3.57r. I'm going to divide both sides by 3.57. So I have 17.85 divided by 3.57, and that's going to give me a radius of 5. So 5 centimeters. Now I'm going to take my radius and I can work forwards to find the area. So area equals pi r squared divided by 4 because it's a quarter circle. So area equals 3.14, and the radius was 5 squared divided by 4. So area equals 3.14 times 25 divided by 4. When you simplify the top, you have 3.14 times 25, which is 78.5, divided by 4 because it's a quarter circle. And so your final area is 19.625. And that's going to be centimeters squared. All right, so that is the end of this lesson. It was a little longer because the formula is longer, but we will pick up with some more practice in class.